Hello, everybody. See if we get everybody filtering in here. Don't mind the occasional blurring. My camera just really wants to autofocus, and it has no idea how to do that. Um, yeah, I tell it not to do this every time I use it, and yet it still doesn't get the message. Um, anyway, once we have people in, we can get going. I believe we are going to be receiving viewers from Hive Science. So, let's see here. Camera is aimed a little down. All right. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll message Purple that I'm ready. All right. Now, Vale, they should be able to hear you too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Testing.
I
Not the
yeah. Not that we can tell.
not that we can tell.
All right. Let me just grab the buckets. Have those handy. This occupies my chair, so I'm not going to be sitting at the computer. That's why I've got help today. And once people start showing up, we will get things moving. Concurrent viewers 1, views 0. Well, that
That's
doesn't
pro
add up.
that's probably my personal account too. YouTube
Okay.
doesn't count me as a viewer.
Okay. See if we have anybody coming in. Holy crap, my camera is awful. Hang on, let me see if I can fix it real quick. Can I use some... Okay, I can't do that yet. Hang on, let me turn that off for a moment.
You want to try trading for my webcam? It's not
No.
the best either, but
Okay, hang on. It's being really stubborn. It doesn't like that OBS is trying to use the camera at all. So what I'm going to
mm,
have to do is copy this and then delete it. And now I go over to the camera app. Yep, that's all I needed to do. And then I put the frickin' video back in. There we are. Okay. I paste the transform. And then I send this all the way to the bottom. And there it is. Alright. There we go. Camera successfully wrangled. Alright, next. We will see if people are coming in. I can't tell if there's just not anybody. Maybe they're running a little long. But I think we might as well get started. So, I'm going to grab 4 characters out of here. Hello, Deep State NX. Welcome, welcome. We are about to play a little bit of anyone's game. We're going to be running a half tournament today because we've only got 2 hours. Welcome, Ollie. Welcome, welcome. All right. So, Vale, please get ready to create a poll.
Yep.
Because we're going to see who people want to have on the tournament bracket. You can vote for one of these. You got Remy and Linguini from Ratatouille. You can just put the names in. Senior Chief Petty Officer Miles O'Brien from Star Trek. Plucky Duck from Tiny Toon Adventures. Or Squirrel Girl from The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. So I'll just show that to you right here.
I think I'm going to go with Remy and Linguini.
I asked you to create a poll.
Oh, right. Sorry. I'm used to being a judge.
Yep.
Remy and Linguini. Miles O'Brien. Lucky Duck.
Vale is creating a poll, so we will have that up momentarily. And while y'all are voting on that,
I accidentally put who would win. Don't worry about who would win. Who do you want to put up on the board?
Yeah, it's who would you like to see compete? While that one is running, Vale, I will have you choose this next one. You've got Fred Jones from Scooby-Doo, Biff Tannen from Back to the Future, Lord Business from the Lego Movie, or a Metroid larva from Metroid.
I kind of want to choose Biff. It's been a while since I've seen Back to the Future, though.
All right, Biff Tannen. So I just give this a spin like that. The rest of these go into the cauldron of maybe next time. And it stopped right here, so I'm going to slot Biff right there. Again, we're only doing a half tournament, so that means we skip this first row. How's our poll looking?
It looks like Squirrel Girl Squirrel Girl just tied with Remy and Linguini for 38% of the poll.
Okay, so let's just so just watch, see if anyone pulls ahead. The other two are eliminated, so now it's just between Remy and Linguini or Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl is just pulled ahead at 40% to 30%. So it looks like Squirrel Girl wins.
Alrighty. So Squirrel Girl is our next contestant. We give that a spin. And now she goes right there. Next up for our poll, I've got Cornelius Fillmore from Fillmore, Sean Spencer from Psych, B'Elanna Torres from Star Trek, or Andrea Davenport from The Ghost and Molly McGee. So there you go. That's what they look like. So you can just type in Fillmore, Sean, B'Elanna, and Andrea.
B'Elanna.
And it doesn't have to be doesn't necessarily have to be spelled right. It can just be understandable.
Doing my best.
All right. So we got that up. While that's going, can you run another poll concurrently?
Unfortunately not, it looks like.
Okay. In that case, while they're voting, Vale, you get to choose the next one. You've got Darth Vader from Star Wars, Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Jack from Samurai Jack, or Artie Nielsen from Warehouse 13.
Gotta go with Samurai Jack, right?
All right, back to the past. Or, whatever time period anyone's game happens to take place in. So he goes right there to await his opponent. And go ahead and end our poll, please.
Balana won with a whopping 86% of the votes.
Damn. All right. So spinning that again. And we have a match. Lieutenant Balana Torres versus Squirrel Girl. Now keep in mind this is on camera, so Squirrel Girl doesn't quite get the benefit of being unseen. And the contest is hiking across Antarctica. So just do a poll with hiking across Antarctica as the title, and then these two as the contestants, please.
All right.
Deep State Annex
Got a little more
says
wordy, but
they
next time
loved the Samurai Jack series. Yeah, I never watched a whole lot of it. Just never got a chance to see much of it. But what I saw, I really liked.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I
Klingons
really
don't-
love.
Mage Grey Wolf says Klingons don't take to cold very well. That could definitely be a factor. By the way, I am being assisted off camera by my friend Vale from the World in a Jar podcast.
Hello, everyone.
All right. While that is going, why don't I pick someone out of the audience? First person I saw comment at all in the chat was Deep State Annex, so you get the next pick all to yourself. You've got Jon Snow, the physician, David the Gnome from The World of David the Gnome, George Feeney from Boy Meets World, or Tucker Foley from Danny Phantom. And I'll give you about 20 to 30 seconds. Hello, Captive Desk, I believe. Vale, if you wouldn't mind monitoring the chat.
Yep, I got you.
So Deep State Annex, are you there?
I will tag them.
Tucker Foley, all right.
There we go.
Rest of these go away. I don't know how much of a delay there is. But I would give that another spin. And Tucker goes right here. All right, how does our match look? For hiking across Antarctica, who's winning?
Squirrel Girl has 3/4 of the votes.
All right, seems like a pretty handy victory right there. So coming on over here, Squirrel Girl advances into the next round, and get ready for a new poll, please.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so there is quite a bit of a delay. On my end, I'm not seeing it, but yeah.
Hivesai says, make no mistake, I hate her, but she is OP.
Yeah. By the way, we read that out as soon as that came in. So if when you hear the response, can you let us know about how long that was? That tells us what kind of delay we're dealing with. Anyway, Vale, here is the next poll. William Wallace from Braveheart, Waluigi from Super Mario, Lieutenant Tasha Yar from Star Trek, or Mr. Peanut from Planters Peanuts.
Well, or could I see the... Oh, you're getting to it. Okay.
Yeah, I was already holding it up.
I have some latency on my side of the stream as well, evidently. All right, poll is up.
All right. While that runs, I'm going to pick somebody else. I saw Ollie came in next, I believe. So, Ollie man, here is a choice all for you. You've got Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets,
Oh, whoops.
Colonel Jack O'Neill from Stargate, Riley's Joy from Inside Out, or Homestar Runner from Homestar Runner.
Sorry, Ollie. I was trying to make a message for you.
You're all right, Aunt Jer. There's always room for arguments. If yeah, if you have something, then Vale can read that out. It's a little difficult for me because it's I have to step all the way over here in order to see it. But yeah. So looks like Ollie is saying Statler and Waldorf. All right. So give them that a spin. When that stops, how does our poll look?
So far, Mr. Peanut just barely has the edge on Tasha Yar and William Wallace to go up.
All right, well, let's go ahead and stop the poll here, please.
Yep. Ollie
Results?
says counted to 12 before we said their answer out loud.
All right, so it sounds like about a 12-second delay.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough to be frustrating. All right, so Mr. Peanut then, but before I put him up, we've got a match. Vale, please get ready. It's Statler and Waldorf versus Biff Tannen. The contest is a spelling bee. And while you all vote on that, I'm going to give this a spin.
All right, I've got the poll up.
All right, that is already a match that's finished, so I'll spin it again. This is the current match, so I'm just going to move it forward until I find a match with no one in it. And there we are. I forgot to take that one down from the last tournament, so I'll just throw that in the bucket, and away we go. All right. Is purple rhymes with orange in the chat?
Aunt Jer asks, when there's a break in the action, can we introduce ourselves, our channel, what we do?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And explain the game.
Yeah, so I'm Rob Bourgeois. This is Anyone's Game. I own and run the channel Raspberry Grenade Games. Anyone's Game is a fantasy tournament, usually for 32 characters, teams, and celebrities, competing in a bunch of wild, different events. It changes every time, as you are currently seeing, and the winner advances toward the center. It's mostly about the silly situations and the arguments that arise. And we've got the full first season currently available on this very channel that you're on right now. So season 1 is done, and we are in the midst of recording season 2. In addition to Anyone's Game, I've also got other games available, like Flanxiety, Asterism, and it's a little hidden, Gordian Maps. These are tabletop games that are available for purchase, generally through outlets like The Game Crafter. And Vale, your turn.
My name is Vale. I'm here to help run things smoothly. I am the co-host at the World in a Jar podcast, where we take random prompts, a little bit like Anyone's Game, but instead of crafting silly scenarios for TV and pop culture characters, we are creating worlds, characters, genre, or not creating genres, but playing with genres for tabletop role-playing game campaigns. And you can find us on Spotify and YouTube at the World in a Jar podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Worlds in Jars, and you can email us with any recommendations, SOSs at worldinajar1@gmail.com. We are currently on hiatus. We are fixing to get back into the swing of things very soon. Yeah. I'm never good at conclusions.
All right. So it looks like Statler and Waldorf has won this event over here. Makes perfect sense. Biff is not too well known for his braining. So let's go ahead and all right. So looks like Purple may be napping. That's fine. Why don't I throw a choice over? Well, let's do one for everybody, and then I'll throw one over to Hivesci there. So, for everybody, we've got Sid the Sloth from Ice Age, Commander T'Pol from Star Trek, Lady Bo from Paper Mario, or Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb.
Right. Wait. What was the second choice before Lady Bo?
Commander
Sid.
T'Pol. T'Pol.
All right. Yeah,
Right.
the tiny screen I get of your stream does not help me. Which is YouTube problem and more than likely not ours.
All right.
Dr. Ben says,
Now.
Perry!
All right. Is Hivesci here? Not seeing anything they wrote recently.
I can tag them, so I think they're here.
They might be looking at something else right now too.
Ah, okay.
So, I'm gonna throw this one to Aunt Jur instead.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aunt Jur, you've got Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote, Larry the Cucumber from VeggieTales, Howard Langston from Jingle All the Way, or Magneto from X-Men.
Also, before that, Onjur says they saw us on the list, never heard of us, and was looking forward to meeting us. Well, we looked forward to meeting you too, and now we have. Thank you, Onjur.
Yeah, thank you.
Magneto.
All right. All right, and so there's a match there. How does our other poll look?
3-way tie.
3-way tie.
Ollieman says got to give this one to the Vulcan, and then everyone tied except for Lady Bo. But now Perry has gotten the lead with 40% of the poll.
As soon as there's a lead, end it.
Done.
Okay, who's it?
Perry the Platypus.
Perry the Platypus. All right, give that another spin. We do have a match pending, so just a moment on that. All right, make that 2 matches pending. First, we've got Magneto versus Mr. Peanut. The contest is a triathlon.
It was Mr. Peanut versus who?
Magneto.
In a triathlon?
Yes.
Might have done it out of order. I apologize. And then also Dr. Ben says, I fully endorse Rob in his games.
Thanks, bro. I really appreciate it.
Birdie B says Rob's games are the funnest.
Well, if it helps, I like them. The games that I've made that I don't like do not end up escaping the house.
Right. But they
Like
never
there's
escape our memories in
well,
the house.
there's a party game that I'm kind of working on the side that's all about like constructing syllogisms and stuff that are funny, and it's kind of like a Cards Against Humanity kind of thing, except instead of just, matching prompts, you're actually writing a conclusion to premises that are given. And it's kind of fun, but it's also kind of limited in a certain way. So I think most of the issue lies in the way the prompts are given. So that's the hang up on that one. And until I fix it, that's not going to be out at all.
We're we're still cooking on
Yeah,
it.
that is still cooking. But I've also got the Splinterville Shuffle, which is a rather big game. Um, I'd probably call it like a medium weight party game. Is this a hobby, or are you able to make a living doing this? This is a hobby. I wish I could make a living doing this. There's next to no money in the board game industry at all, despite the fact that there are board games like all over the place, and the hobby is huge. But yeah, most of the time, people who do this because they love it, and so that's kind of where I'm at. Um, but some of them are adaptable into like a video game format, and I just don't know how to program. So
Ollie asks, have we ever played Guillotine? It's a fun card game.
I have heard of it. I have not played it. It does look really fun. Maya, I'd give money if you were monetized. Well, we do have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/raspberry grenade. Um, we do also have the occasional bonus video that goes up as well, and hopefully for season 2, we'll actually be able to get the videos up onto Patreon early, and then bring them over to YouTube afterward. So like Patreon supporters might get a rougher cut, and maybe even like a little input here and there, like hey, you got this thing wrong, and then we'd change it for the YouTube edit. So that kind of stuff, and of course mention in the credits as well. Yeah, Ember. You generally there's kind of an adage. It's um, I've heard it applied to other industries as well, but generally it goes that the way to make a small fortune in the board gaming industry is to start with a large one.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and end our poll, please.
Magneto took 2/3 of the votes and
All
has
right.
won the triathlon against Mr. Peanut.
All right. Now, right on over here, we've got Jack, Samurai Jack, versus Perry the Platypus. And this contest is duck calling.
Duck calling, and he's a
Yeah.
platypus.
Now, while that is being decided in a poll, let me throw a choice over to... Oh, let's see. We'll throw it to Dr. Ben. So, Ben, you've got Daisy Duck from Mickey Mouse, Blythe the Half-Wolf from Elden Ring, Ernest P. Worrell from Ernest, or Drake and Josh from Drake and Josh.
Ollieman says, don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone.
Thanks,
If
Ollie.
not for us, then for Ollieman.
Ben's picking Drake and
Drake
Josh. All right. That one's already done. Moving on. Spinning again, rather. Oh, same spot. We're going to come right over here and drop them in there. All right. Let's see here. The pace we're clipping through this, we might actually have time for a second half tournament. All right. Let's see here. Ember. You've got Rainbow Bright from Rainbow Bright, Calvin Fuller of Reseda from a kid in King Arthur's Court, Duncan from Total Drama, or Dread Pirate LeChuck from Monkey Island.
Hello, Spooky.
Ember says Rainbow Bright. All right. Round and round we go. That one's already done. Spinning again. This one is also already done. I'm just going to advance to right here. All right, how is our poll?
Perry the Platypus is dominating, perhaps because he already has a duck bill for which to duck call.
That is totally fair, though the sounds he makes are not that of a duck.
They are far from, but I think he's got this one in the bag.
All
with
right.
83% of the poll.
In that case, we are straight into another match. It's Perry the Platypus versus Statler and Waldorf. Ready?
I am ready.
The contest is Tech Deck Tricks.
Whoa. Do we think Statler and Waldorf are hiding some unusual skills here? Or?
Some hidden dexterity. All right.
Pragmatic Crystal says, just popped in to hit the button. Love y'all. Have a great day. We love you too.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Let's see here. How about I throw this one over to Spooky. Spooky, you've got Sheen Estevez from The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Rapunzel from Tangled, Mrs. Brisby from The Secret of Nim, or Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Ollieman asks, does Perry the Platypus have fingers?
Yes.
Yes, I just Googled it.
All right, Spooky says Rapunzel. All right, give that a spin. And that's a match right there. So so let's go ahead and end this one.
Statler and Waldorf beat Perry the Platypus in Tech Deck Tricks.
All righty. I guess two hands are better than one. All right, now coming over here, we've got Rapunzel versus Tucker Foley. The contest is whittling. You got a stick, and you're carving it down into something.
Poll has launched.
Okay. While that's cooking, let's see here. Who else is around? Who has not taken part in the thing yet? I'm not seeing anybody in recent chat who hasn't.
Though we do have a couple more viewers, it might be worth taking a break and explaining who or what we're doing again.
Sure. All right. So, this is a fantasy tournament. This is a neat little tournament bracket that I designed and fit it on a spinning wheel. And Yeah, so it's a tournament. you
We're
got
we're choosing
you
we're
got
choosing randomly drawn characters
yeah,
to launch into the bracket, to launch
fictional
into.
characters, celebrities, and even some teams thereof. They get put onto the bracket, and when we have a match, we draw what the event is going to be out of a different bucket, and it can be all sorts of wild, crazy stuff like a triathlon, or duck calling, or hiking across Antarctica, or the current one, whittling. And then we get to argue about who wins. The arguments are usually a little more heated when everybody's in person, but this is kind of a preview of how the whole thing works.
And then Ollie says, "I wish I knew who Tucker Foley was to have any idea if they can do things."
Uh,
Tucker Foley is Danny Fenton, or better known as Danny Phantom's best friend in his titular series. I don't quite remember how much he's capable of, but
Tucker
um,
was kind of he's kind of the tech nerd, um, little goofy, a little clumsy, quite awkward, but he knows his gadgets. He especially knows the software side of gadgets.
Mage Grey Wolf says, "Interesting idea for a live stream. Thank you."
Thank you. Yeah, just kind of adapting the game show that I generally run for the stream format.
Ollie says, "Hate to say this is no help. Never heard of that show. That's okay."
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Might want to check it out. All right, who wins whittling?
Rapunzel with 75% of the vote.
Wow. All right. Well, she is straight into another match, so get ready. It's Rapunzel versus Magneto.
Ooh.
And we've got a twist.
If it's a
So,
fight, Rapunzel best not use her frying pan.
so here's how the twists work. I've got these separate chips that basically they just kind of clip onto the back of a regular contest and they modify how the contest works. So normally this would just be air guitar, but this is air guitar, but the floor is actually lava.
All right, I've got the poll up.
Okay. While that's cooking, Vale, your turn.
Yes. Oh boy.
You've got 8 well-fed Tribbles from Star Trek, Ash's Pikachu from Pokemon, Luigi from Super Mario, or Donkey from Shrek. 4 solid choices here.
Ooh. Oh, those are solid choices. I think we'll get more mileage out of Luigi. I'll go with Luigi.
Okay, Luigi. Right.
Aunt
Nope.
Jer posits
Same spot.
lava floor is going to work, or is going to work against all that flammable hair. I didn't think of that, but I do appreciate that imagery.
it's basically a fuse.
At first, I was like, I don't quite understand why Magneto's a better air guitarist, and then that would have made Rapunzel all the more frantic.
All right. So we've got another match pending. Who wins this one?
Magneto is the better
Okay.
air guitarist while the floor is lava.
Fair enough. All right. Magneto advances to the semifinal. And over here, it's Luigi versus Drake Parker and Josh Nichols. Oh, hey, it's another twist.
What a twist.
It's hot dog eating in microgravity.
Poll is live.
All
Or
right.
has been live by the time the stream hears me say that.
Yeah. Hello, Tsunami. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome,
And
Tsunami.
while you're here, how about I give you the next pick? You've got Nabbit from Super Mario, Blue from M&M's, Gonzo the Great from The Muppets, or The Scotsman from Samurai Jack. Gonzo, all right.
Gonzo.
Nope, that one's done. The wheel's getting a little insistent on this one area right here.
It might be lopsided from the weight of all the chips.
Yeah, but you'd think that that would push that side down.
Fair enough.
The chips have positive weight, I'm pretty sure. All right, so Gonzo goes there and awaits his opponent. Let's see. Who wants next? How about Mage? Mage, you've got Spencer Shea from iCarly, Draco from Dragonheart, Jay Darris from Clerks, or Markiplier, the Let's Player.
Mage also says about the current challenge, Drake and Josh have 2 stomachs versus 1, but Luigi is a better jumper and could move easier in microgravity.
That could help, especially if you have to chase the hot dogs down. All right, Draco. Give that a spin.
Wait, what is Draco from? Is that from Dragonheart?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to watch that movie again. I miss it.
All right. So there's a match.
That is a solid pick, Mage.
All right. Who wins hot dog eating?
Luigi wins hot dog eating in microgravity.
With how much?
60% of the vote. It was kind of close.
60%. All right.
It was 3-2 votes.
So Luigi steps into another match against Squirrel Girl, but first, let's go over here and address Draco versus Rainbow Bright. A twist! Oh, God. Oh, no. The contest is herding cats while standing in a Tetris matrix. So they've got to chase cats into like a corral while dodging blocks that are falling from above.
Oh no. Oh, the poor cats. I would not like to be the cat here.
And let's say that blindly playing this game, the game of Tetris, is the Crowned Slime from Recettear and Item Shop's Tale.
For flavor, it's just a slime controlling these blocks.
I mean, he's got a crown. All right, now while that's cooking, let's get one final pick in here. Who has not chosen yet? Besides me.
I think we've gotten a lot of people that have commented. Don't know if we got on Jer yet.
I think so. I think, let's see. Who'd they pick? I think they picked Magneto.
Ah, right.
All right. Looks like I'm not seeing anybody new.
Oh, did we get Pragmatic Crystal?
I thought they left.
Oh, right.
I thought they were just kind of in and out. If they're still
Pragmatic
around,
Crystal,
sure.
sound off if you're still here. There's still time to get your pick in.
Make sure it's just passing through. All right, sounds
Just
like
fly
it.
and visit.
All right. Well, hello, delicious Danish. While you're here, why don't you pick our last character to round out the tournament here? You've got Peter, PJ, Pete Jr., an Amazon Echo Dot from Amazon, Bucky from The Emperor's New Groove, or Ambassador Londo Mollari from Babylon 5.
Oh, Bucky! I was like, I don't remember this character from Emperor's New Groove. Squeak, squeaka.
All right.
Bucky
Picking
has
Bucky.
been chosen.
All right. There's only one spot left to go. Now, before we get into that match, who won herding cats in a Tetris Matrix?
Rainbow Bright with 83% of the vote.
All right, fair enough. Draco would have a hard time dodging those blocks, and then also the fact that cats would just scatter. All right. Now, Rainbow Bright is there. We've got a match pending here, but let's come back to Squirrel Girl versus Luigi. It's campfire starting. Now, they're not allowed to start a forest fire. They have to keep the campfire under control. So that's Squirrel Girl versus Luigi.
Yep.
And while that's running, well, we don't have any more characters to pick. So at this point, we're just waiting on polls.
Yep.
So once again, if you like all of this, if you want to see more, go on over to the Raspberry Grenade Games YouTube channel. In fact, you're there right now. And check out the rest of the show. We've got Season 1 up in its entirety. There are a few numbers missing in the tournament numbers just because those tournaments didn't get recorded. But there are recaps available on raspberrygrenade.games. So it's all recorded in a way, like into the record books, but not all of them have video. That is a thing that we're not doing any more of. So if the video doesn't work, we're not counting it as canon anymore. So you won't be missing any more if you just stick with YouTube. Additionally, while you're there and you like the whole thing, hitting that thumbs up button tells us that you do like it, and hitting the subscribe button tells you when we make more. Now, who is winning campfire starting?
Squirrel Girl has shut out Luigi with 100%
wow.
of the vote.
All right.
Sorry, Rob, I
Squirrel
picked
Girl
Luigi
advances.
for you.
I mean, Luigi probably carries some fire flowers, and it's a pretty easy matter to just blick. But hey.
And then it's also pretty easy to burn down the forest with a fire flower, in my opinion.
What are you talking about? It just bounces around and it pings off the trees.
Oh, right. Until it hits people.
All right, so now coming over here, it's Bucky versus Gonzo the Great. This contest is a roadside sobriety test.
What? Whoa.
Well, thank you, Spooky. I appreciate it.
Spooky says, I hit subscribe because I'm delightful. Yes, you are.
Yeah. Alrighty.
I think an important note is that sobriety is not, or well, what am I trying to say? Sorry, brain fart. Sobriety is assumed unless the character would not be sober in a sobriety test. It's more of the acrobatics involved in a sobriety test.
Pretty much, yeah. All right. that's done. I mean, we can call it whenever, so.
Got 7 votes. No one's voted in a little bit. So that, just giving a little bit more time, stalling a little bit more, and we're ending the poll with Gonzo getting 50% of the vote. 57% of the votes.
All right. Gonzo the Great advances. He's got a match against Rainbow Bright, but first, let's take care of Squirrel Girl versus Magneto. Winner goes to the final. The contest is Fetch. Object of the game is to go get that stick that just got thrown, bring it back. Whoever does this more times over the course of an hour is the winner.
I'm forgetting grammar, but let's post the poll.
Looks good to
I
me.
should have said in an hour, but we said it, so keep that in mind. Delicious Danish says, I hit subscribe too. Thank you, Delicious Danish.
Yes, thank you. Every little click of that button helps, because especially right now, because we've only got before the stream we only had 72.
The pervasive question is, what is the stick made of?
It is a
for
wooden
Magneto's
stick. It is a wooden stick.
It is a wooden stick.
It's a standard. It is a standard pine stick that does not have an excess amount of iron in it. It may have some trace metal in it,
Wow,
but it is largely wood.
7 votes already. This is the most we've had in a shutout so far, because I think Luigi was shut out with like 3 or 4 votes. Everyone is saying Squirrel Girl, so I think it's safe to end the poll.
Squirrel Girl fetches her way into the final. Now let's go ahead and resolve the other side of the bracket. We're looking at Gonzo the Great versus Rainbow Bright. And their contest... Okay. Their contest is interrogation on a roller coaster. Now you have to keep in mind who they're interrogating. Gonzo the Great is interrogating Draco, and Rainbow Bright is interrogating Bucky. Who's getting that information, that password, faster? And we can say that the roller coaster is appropriately sized to accommodate Draco.
Ollyman says, I hate Squirrel Girl. Worst character ever.
I think she's funny.
It's how anyone's game goes. Sometimes we've got a foil that makes it all the way to the final.
Yeah.
Because it is anyone's game.
And you may notice that there's another chip just kind of hanging out up here. This is our current champion, but I'm not going to say who that is, because that is spoilers for deep into Season 2.
Clairview says, hello all. Hello, Claire.
Hello, Claire. All right. So, go ahead and hit it.
Gonzo the Great interrogates Draco better than Rainbow Bright can interrogate, was it Bucky?
Yes. You know, I suspect what did it is that Bucky is very adorable, and Rainbow Bright probably wouldn't want to engage in any enhanced techniques. So Gonzo advances. Oh boy. It's Gonzo the Great versus Statler and Waldorf.
Whoa!
Winner goes to the final.
2 Muppets in the three Muppets in the semifinal.
The contest,
2 on a team.
The contest is the classic game show Press Your Luck. So there's a bit of a trivia element to this. There's luck. There's even maybe a bit of timing as well. especially if you want to use the version from, I believe it was the 1970s, 70s or 80s, somewhere in there, because they only had a certain number of lists of patterns. And so one person actually figured this out and was able to get like $300,000 off of this show.
All right. We do have a couple more a couple more new viewers, so we might, or while the poll is going, we might describe who we are and what this game is again.
Yeah, so I'm Rob Bourgeois. Once again, I run Raspberry Grenade Games. This is a game show called Anyone's Game, wherein we have these fictional characters, celebrities, and teams thereof competing in wild contests. It's different for each match until we arrive at a winner. And this isn't all we do at Raspberry Grenade Games. We also make tabletop games like Asterism, Flanxiety, and Gordian Maps. Or Asterism's down there, so yeah, Asterism, Flanxiety, Gordian Maps. And yeah, the aim is to eventually, like, hopefully make a living doing this, but who knows? And I am assisted by Vale from the World in a Jar podcast.
Hello, my name is Vale. As Rob said, I'm the co-host of the World in a Jar podcast, where we also do things with random things. We take random prompts to invent story ideas, characters for tabletop games, and all that good stuff for the tabletop gaming spheres. And I am also glad to be co-host for this Anyone's Game Christmas stream.
Yeah, I really appreciate the help, especially on Christmas Day. Everybody's usually busy, so it's really helpful to have somebody around. So like I said, I really appreciate it. All right, who is winning?
Gonzo the Great with his impressive luck, as Ollie has accused him of.
All right, then Gonzo presses his way into the final to face Squirrel Girl. Now, the finale works a little bit differently. Instead of one match, there's 3. Whoever takes 2 matches first is the winner, but there are still some contests that can throw a wrench into things. All right. Vale, would you please give me an integer from 1 to 7?
I like the lucky number 7.
Okay. All right, it's Gonzo the Great versus Squirrel Girl, and the contest is, I kid you not, saving the day.
And Spooky says, I will call Vale disembodied voice guy. I'm okay with that.
All right,
as long as when I appear on Anyone's Game proper streams with a camera, my name changes to embodied voice guy.
This embodied voice guy.
This embodied voice guy.
All right. Hey, Claire, would you please give me an integer from 1 to 6?
And also, I missed the message earlier, but yes, Merry Christmas to you, Spooky.
4. All right. So, who wins saving the day?
Gonzo the Great saves the day with 88% of the vote.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So 1 win goes to Gonzo.
Yep, that's 1 for Gonzo. So here's what Claire picked. It's plumbing. Who would you trust to handle your pipes? And once again, like, while that is running, you can see it right here. This is raspberrygrenade.games. You can also see it on my shirt. And the show is Anyone's Game. And there are, of course, more things happening on the channel, or at least there will be once I've got the studio space in the garage directly downstairs from me all put together. Right now it's a bit in flux. All right. Who wins plumbing?
Gonzo the Great with that nose.
All right. Gonzo takes it and becomes today's champion, but does he get the sweep? Let's find out. Hey, Ollie, please give me an integer from 1 to 5.
Looks like 2.
2. It's juggling.
Oh, wow. This couldn't have gone more in Gonzo's way, in my opinion, but people could disagree in the polls.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's actually shockingly close. They both hit 50%.
So we're just about we're just over an hour in. And we got a little bit of a late start. So I think we've got time to do this again.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to have time for a full tournament, so that's why I did the half, but here we are halfway through at the end of a half tournament. So that's
Two half
Gonzo's
tournaments are better
specialty.
than a whole tournament.
That's what he does on the show. All right.
And Gonzo the Great, I think we're ending. I think that was Rob's sign to end it.
Yep,
He
that's
wins with a shutout against Squirrel Girl, the rival in this bracket, as evident in the chat.
All right. So Gonzo becomes our champion, and we can just hop straight into the next tournament. Let me grab all of these events right now. And we're going to go straight to the next tournament here. So Gonzo is going to step aside for a moment because he is going to be our 16th and final contestant for this next tournament. He gets free entry. The rest of these going right into the cauldron of maybe next time because we got a whole bunch more characters to take a look at here. All right.
What's the character count up to in the bucket?
Oh, let's see. In total right now we have 1,645 different characters to pick from.
Across all pop culture media.
A lot of pop culture media. I wouldn't say all.
All 1,600 is all pop culture.
No, there's gaps. There are some significant gaps. And in fact, if you see any gaps, if there's characters who aren't coming up ever, who you think should come up, you can go over to raspberrygrenade.games, go to the Anyone's Game page, and there's buttons there that'll guide you to a form to fill out to submit more characters and events. All right. So, here is our first new character choice poll. Ready?
Yep.
Baby Doll from Sucker Punch, Birdo from Super Mario, Sue, the fossilized T-Rex, or Naruto Uzumaki from Naruto. Spooky, do you have Mr. Beast as a character? Yes, I do. I don't know if he's in the bucket, but he's definitely in the selection. Is Driz Doerden in there? Yes, he is.
Yes. Driz was my suggestion. I'm glad someone's looking for him.
All right.
Driz Doerden was my Lord of the Rings.
So now while that While that poll cooks, let's have Mage pick the next one. You've got Papa Smurf from the Smurfs, Charles Entertainment Cheese from Chuck E. Cheese, Mr. Blobby from Noel's House Party, or Jake Sisko from Star Trek. And if you've never been introduced to Mr. Blobby, I'm glad I could be of service. All right, Papa Smurf. All right, give that a spin.
My goodness, Mr. Blobby.
All right. Hit it. Who won?
Naruto Uzumaki.
All right, Naruto is going up on the board.
Or as he is perhaps known colloquially, Boruto's dad.
All right, there he is.
Mage says, I've been introduced to Mr. Blobby, and I have a feeling that's why the choice was chosen the way it was.
All right, here is for the next poll. We've got Larry Laffer from Leisure Suit Larry, Orange from M&M's. Holding.
Sorry. I forgot I needed to set up the poll, so now I'm setting it up. So Larry.
Yeah, when one ends, it might just be handy to just have the next one open.
That's what would make sense, yes.
Yep. Larry Laffer from Leisure Suit Larry, Orange from M&M's, Beatrix LeBeau from Slime Rancher, or Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. Ollie, do you have the Norse, Greek, Roman gods in there? I don't. I do. Well, maybe. I might have some of them. I definitely have some characters from the Bible, though. So that's fun. All right, these are going to get set aside for a moment. Let's have Spooky pick the next one. Spooky, you've got Screech from Saved by the Bell, Captain Benjamin Sisko from Star Trek, Jack Torrance from The Shining, or Strad von Zarovich from Dungeons and Dragons. All right, Aunt Jared, take care. Thanks for coming along. Merry Christmas. All right, Spooky saying Sisko. All right, and there you go. All right, how's our poll?
Mr. Fantastic and Larry are tied, so the next vote will clinch it for one of these two.
Okay.
Currently sitting at 5 votes. Get your votes in, whether you want Larry from Leisure Suit Larry or Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four.
While that waits, I'm just going to get the next set ready.
And then someone votes for Beatrix LeBeau to tie it 3 ways.
No, that doesn't count.
I don't know. We didn't say that. It might be fair game.
You did say the next vote for one of those two.
Fair enough.
Somebody messing with things.
I do appreciate a good rabble rousing like that. Still waiting.
Have you voted?
I have not. Does that make me the deciding? We'll put in Mr. Fantastic.
All right. Mr. Fantastic. There he is. All right, for the next poll, we've got Lava Girl from The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl in 3D. Yes, that is the title. It does actually include in 3D. Donatello from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pacha from The Emperor's New Groove, or Dean Winchester from Supernatural.
Poll is up.
All right.
Sorry, Spooky. Oh, Ollie asks if the Dark Urge is in there from Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know. I don't know if we've put the The Dark Urge is the customizable player character, of which there is a semi-canon appearance for it, who has some stuff going on that you didn't get to see in my run of Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay,
but I believe all of the...
So if it's a player character in an RPG where the player character doesn't have their own characterization, so like a Western RPG generally, then they're not going to be included. So there's a reason that I wouldn't include, say, the Nerevarine from Morrowind, because that's you. So whatever you do is what the Nerevarine does.
Though I do believe we have most of the companions from Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Astarion, Lae'zel.
Yeah.
Spooky asks, am I in there as a pop culture icon?
No. Although I have considered adding a chip that just has like a little mirror in the middle, and over the top it just says you.
Ivy Chan enters the chat and says, I'm back alive. What is this about? So maybe it's a good time
Welcome. So, while we wait on that poll to cook, this is a tournament bracket that has been formed into a circle to fit on a spinning wheel, because we get pop culture characters, celebrities, and teams thereof. You pick one of those, we spin this wheel, and we stick them wherever it lands on the bracket. And then once we end up with a match, we draw what the contest is out of the other bucket, and then we get to argue, or in this case, vote, about who wins. Whoever wins takes a step closer to the center, continue until we have a champion. All right.
Right now, we're voting for who we want to put in the bracket, whether it's Lava Girl, Donatello, who has a commanding lead, and the poll's just about to end, Pacha, and Dean Winchester.
Yeah, go ahead and close that one. I've got another one ready for you.
Yep. I am ready.
All right, so Donatello wins. Or rather, Donatello is chosen. So we spin that. And there he is right there. We're skipping the outermost row because we're doing half tournaments. But we went a little faster than I thought we would. So we're doing a second half tournament today. All right, here is the next vote. Billy O'Brien from You Don't Know Jack, Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street, Mark Hamill, the actor, or Big Pete Wrigley from The Adventures of Pete and Pete. Ollie, some of the Dragon Ball characters are in there. There's definitely Goku, Krillin, Vegeta, and Bulma.
Goku was the subject of some controversy in our house, I believe, as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
To a lesser extent than the genie from Aladdin, who has also returned to the deck.
Yeah, the genie was kind of winning everything, but that's before we got an even more well-rounded roster. All right, while that cooks, while y'all vote on that, I'm going to pick somebody out. In fact, Ivy-chan, if you're still here, why don't you take the next choice yourself? You've got Phineas Flynn from Phineas and Ferb, Alejandro Burros Muertos from Total Drama, Boris Badenov from The Rocky and Bullwinkle Show, or Freddy Fazbear from Five Nights at Freddy's? And Vale, if you could please make sure Ivy is here.
Yep. Let's see.
If you can tag them, then they're probably here.
Yep, Ivy is here.
Okay.
I've added a tertiary objective to my participation in the stream, which is writing down suggestions from the chat.
Okay.
Tingle from Zelda.
Tingle is there.
Oh, Tingle's there?
Yes, Tingle is
Sweet.
there. We haven't seen him yet, but he's there.
Ivy-chan, you here?
Oh no, wait. Hang on. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's have him written down just in case. I might have meant to add him and then forgot.
Write him down.
All right. I'm not seeing a response from Ivy, but it looks like everybody wants Boris. So let's go ahead and just grab Boris. Give that a spin. Boris goes right there.
I think Oscar the Grouch dominated the bracket to be put on next.
All right, so close that poll, please. Oscar the Grouch is moving in.
No matches yet?
Not yet. It's pretty spread out this time.
It'll just make for a more exciting chain of events by the end.
All right. Here is the next bracket, or the next slate of picks. Joe from Total Drama, that's J-O. Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Master Hand from Super Smash Bros. Or Mr. Poopy Butthole from Rick and Morty.
Poll is active.
Okay. While that's running, Ollie. Ollie, you've got Detective Dick Tracy from Dick Tracy, Carl Fredricksen from Up, Mr. Wolf from The Bad Guys, or Gordy from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Do you have the genie from Aladdin? Yes. Do you have the genie from I Dream of Jeannie? No. Dick Tracy, all right. There we go, finally with a match. Detective Dick Tracy versus Boris Badenov. Now, before we get into what this match is, let's go ahead and close the other poll.
I would, but it's tied.
So, why don't you cast the deciding vote then?
I will pick Leonardo. We will get a second turtle onto the bracket. Oh, and then... Oh, that was exciting. Or, hold on. Why isn't it ending the poll? There we go. And then someone comes in and votes Leonardo anyway.
All right. So, Leonardo will be matched up against Papa Smurf in just a moment. But like I said right here, we've got Detective Dick Tracy versus Boris Badenov. Their contest is... Didn't we already do this? It's whittling, but the floor is actually lava. I definitely disconnected all of the twists. All right. Now, while that's going, let's get another pick in here. Vale.
Sumami says, have to go eat the dinner I've slaved over. Thanks for joining, Sumami.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't realize that was an M. thought it was an N. I thought it was just tsunami. Whoops, my bad. Alright, Vale, here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to read you 5 options. I want you to eliminate one.
Eliminate one.
Eliminate one, and the other 4 are going to get thrown to the audience.
Ooh, people are gonna hate me.
So you got Captain Falcon from F-Zero, Cow and Chicken from Cow and Chicken, Mystique from X-Men, the Goose from Untitled Goose Game, or Prince Humperdinck from The Princess Bride.
Oh,
Who are you knocking out?
I'm gonna go with Cow and Chicken.
All right, Cow and
But if
Chicken.
you disagree, get in the comments.
Cow and Chicken are banished to the cauldron. The other 4 will go up at the end of this poll, or no, actually after the end of the next one. So, who wins whittling?
While the floor is actually lava, Boris Badenov is a better whittler.
All right. Yeah, I guess he does have to, navigate those really dangerous situations like all the time while chasing after moose and squirrel. Papa Smurf versus Leonardo. This contest is the game show Brain Surge. So this show is billed as the game show where you don't have to know anything to win. They show you all the answers ahead of time. Or actually, no, not ahead of time, like during the show. And you have to remember everything that they showed you. And then they ask you questions about it. This idea gets expanded as a UK game show later on called I Literally Just Told You, wherein they ask you questions about everything that happens during the show.
Jimmy Carr at his most smarmy for that show.
It's very fun to watch. All right. Now, while that's going, hey, Vale, you want to knock out another one of these 4?
Not really, but if you're twisting my arm, I'm going to have to.
So, once again, you got Captain Falcon, Prince Humperdinck, Mystique, or the Goose. Who you want to knock out? Who you send into the cauldron?
I'm gonna say Prince Humperdinck. Prince Humperdinck.
All right, Prince Humperdinck goes to the cauldron. Mage says when it comes to brain, saying Papa Smurf, that does look like who's
Papa
dominating.
Smurf.
So let's go ahead and end that poll there.
Papa Smurf wins Brain Surge.
All right.
Against Leonardo.
Well, we're into another match, but before we get into it, before we do that one, let's go ahead and throw these other 3 at the audience. So you've got Captain Falcon, Mystique, and the Goose.
Right. Sorry. Getting there. I'm almost there. There we go. Poll.
All right. Now, while they're voting on one of those, hey, Vale.
Yep.
Please send one of these to the cauldron.
Oh, no.
Speedy Gonzales from Looney Tunes. Baba Yaga from Folklore. The Borg Queen from Star Trek. Elvis Presley, the King. Or Usagi Yojimbo from Usagi Yojimbo.
We'll put in... we'll drop Usagi Yojimbo.
Okay.
Just because I haven't... It's on my list, but I haven't read it yet.
All right.
I do have friends that would vehemently despise me if they were watching, though.
Do you have a picture of John Wick for Baba Yaga? No, actually. I've got that picture for Baba Yaga right now. But there is another one that I'm using instead afterward.
I believe John Wick is in the deck on his own as well.
Yes, John Wick is also there. All right, so looks like everybody's going Mystique. Go ahead and end that poll.
Yep.
Give this a spin. All right, and she's into a match right away. Let's resolve this one first. Boris Badenov versus Papa Smurf. This contest is lawn darts. You have Baba Yaga's hut as its own token? No, no, I
I'm
don't.
writing it down.
Not a bad idea, though. All right. While they're voting on that, hey Vale, go ahead and send another one of these off to the cauldron, please.
So before that, Ollie asks, "Are they Smurf-sized lawn darts?"
The ones for Papa Smurf, yes, they are Smurf-sized. They are appropriately sized for a Smurf to handle. The ones for Boris, they are appropriately sized for a 2-foot tall human being.
So, what were the options to send to the graveyard? Or the cauldron?
The other 4 you didn't pick before.
We'll put Elvis there.
Oh no, the king! All right.
I want. If it's controversial, get in the comments.
So, one more time. I'm Rob Bourgeois. This is Anyone's Game. It's a tournament, a fantasy tournament for fictional characters, celebrities, and teams thereof to face off in all sorts of different contests. You've got whittling, you got lawn darts, you got other game shows, you've got algebra in here somewhere. And every match, it's different. Whoever wins advances toward the center, and eventually they become champion. Somebody does. Might not be any of these guys. It might be Gonzo who won the last one. And on top of all that, this is like a full-fledged game show that I produce, and Vale is occasionally a guest star on. And we've got all of Season 1 complete and ready for people to watch. It's all there. Each episode takes about an hour. It's been edited down for brevity and, a nice quick pace, unlike this live stream where I just ramble. And, so yeah, it's good. Season 1 was edited by my friend TJ, who is one of the best editors that I know, but he's getting busy lately. He's got his own stuff. He wants to do live streaming, and he's got a job, so he's passing the torch to me, and so I've got a whole season to edit ahead of me. Oh boy! All right,
I am Vale, otherwise known as Disembodied Voice Guy by this very chat.
Yes.
I am the co-host of the World in a Jar podcast, which you can find on Spotify and YouTube, where we take random prompts and create just about anything you can imagine for mostly the tabletop role-playing game sphere, but also just for story building in general. And I am happy to be the co-host of this show as well.
All right. So go ahead and end this one.
Boris Badenov beats Papa Smurf in lawn darts, despite Papa Smurf getting Papa Smurf-sized lawn darts.
All right. Yeah. So Boris getting a couple lucky matches, and he is up to the semifinal. Now, we had another match to resolve before we get to the picks. So we've got Mystique versus Captain Benjamin Sisko. This contest... Oh, hey, it's back. It's Fetch. Over the course of an hour, who is bringing this wooden stick back more often? I imagine Mystique right now is probably like, I heard about this. Why am I doing this too? You already made my boss do this.
I hope I spelled Cisco right. I probably didn't.
Nope. Sisko.
Ah, okay.
Spooky
All right.
and Ollie are both saying Cisco.
And also that Boris always chokes in the end. I want. We'll see how it goes. It is still anyone's game.
It is indeed.
But yeah, are we down? Are we down to our choices again?
Yeah. So, Vale, please send one of these to the cauldron.
I will choose. Though I haven't watched Star Trek, I feel like everyone would hate me if I chose the Borg Queen, so we'll go with Speedy Gonzalez. The clearly less controversial pick.
All right, Speedy Gonzalez. Yeet. By the way, that ding earlier was just my one of my email tabs. I should mute these.
I think the votes went up when Mage Grey Wolf commented, "Mystique can just turn into a dog," and
I mean,
Ollie says, "Or yeah,
oops. She
no,
kind
yeah,
of
go on."
can. I don't think it changes her like abilities. I think she'd be just as fast. Excuse me. I think she'd be just as fast while turned into a dog as she would be just running. But all right, how's our poll looking?
It is tied with Mystique and Benjamin Sisko,
Ooh.
each fetching a wooden stick equally fast.
All right. Next vote ends it. Come on.
We all know you've got opinions. Who do you think, or do you think Mystique? It's Cisco.
Who's all right? Benjamin Sisko takes it.
Someone tied it the moment I clicked end poll, but Cisco was the first to be voted after we
Okay.
had decided the next vote ended it, or at least
All
from what
right.
I saw.
Sounds good to me. All right. So, next up for the wheel for your consideration, we've got Baba Yaga, the folklore monster, or the Borg Queen from Star Trek. And while everybody votes on those, let me get the new set ready. All right, Ivy, are you still around? Ivy Chan, if you're here, you've got Betty Cooper from Archie, Buster Baxter from Arthur, Maddie Fitzpatrick from The Sweet Life, or Wewe Coyote from No Evil. Hello,
JJO,
Jaden. Welcome.
yep. Let me see if Ivy Chan is still here. That was my cue. Sorry, Ivy Chan is still here, according to YouTube.
Okay. Let's give them a moment. Otherwise, I think we can pass this to someone else.
Merry Christmas, Jay.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Happy holiday. All right, let's end this poll and we'll just start a new one with that set.
Sure thing.
All right.
So it looks like
The Borg Queen.
Happened? I don't see it on my chat log, but yes, I believe the Borg Queen won with 60% of the votes. There we go. Guess chat's slowing down for me.
It's getting old. All right. That's a match. The Borg Queen versus Donatello.
Ooh.
And that contest is a roadside sobriety test. I grabbed a small subset of all the contests that were here just to, because I didn't think we were going to have time to run it twice. But I guess we do. All right. So while that is running.
To remind, this vote is about the acrobatics of a roadside sobriety test, not necessarily that they are not sober, unless they might not be if they hear they're taking a sobriety test.
Exactly. All right, Vale, please knock one of these into the cauldron. You've got Betty Cooper from Archie, Buster Baxter from Arthur, Maddie Fitzpatrick from The Sweet Life, or Weiwei Coyote from No Evil.
I will put in Betty, I think is her name.
Okay. Betty Cooper off to the cauldron of maybe next time. And let's throw this over to Jaden. So, Jaden, you get to pick out of the remaining three. You've got Buster Baxter from Arthur, Maddie Fitzpatrick from The Sweet Life, or Weiwei Coyote from No Evil.
Fire Thieves Studio, aka one of our longtime judges, Charlie, posts Donatello has way more natural acrobatics. The Borg Queen would just assimilate the officer of the roadside sobriety test.
All right, Jaden says the rabbit. All right, cool. So
what?
Buster is going up.
What happens if or does the Borg show up on a test? Would that fail the sobriety test?
It probably wouldn't show up on a breathalyzer, and in fact would probably hijack the breathalyzer and make it appear negative somehow.
My mind just went to Borgalizer. That's a fun word to say.
So let's end this poll. Oh wait, nope, that looks tied, doesn't it?
We've got a tie.
We've got a tie vote.
Next vote decides it between the Borg Queen and Donatello.
Indeed.
On performing a roadside sobriety test. Got some people I assume have already voted rooting for Donnie. Borg can't hold their liquor.
Oh man, imagine if this twist had been on that contest.
And Donatello clinches it in the end.
All right. Donnie takes a step forward. And now right over here, we've got Oscar the Grouch versus Buster Baxter. And the contest is a scavenger hunt, Wild Dizzy.
What? Imagine if
Imagine if it had been a roadside sobriety test, Wild Dizzy.
I think that would have spelled Donatello's doom, though. Just theorizing, but I think it would have been a reversal.
Now, while that's running, Charlie, since you're here, why don't you pick from Captain Quark from Ratchet and Clank, Bobby Zimmerowski from a Goofy movie, Isaac Clarke from Dead Space, or Agent K from Men in Black?
Ollie says Oscar has everything in his trash can.
Ditch. We're not doing ditches today. Normally on the actual show, they'd be able to, you would be able to toss these 4 aside and get a new set of 3, but we're not doing that because it slows things down a little bit while we're doing a live stream. Especially
Agent K has been chosen.
Time. Yeah, so Charlie has picked Agent K. Give that a spin, and then we will stop the poll right after this.
Oscar the Grouch finds all of the scavenger hunt items in his trash can for the victory.
All right. So Agent K goes right there. All right. So looks like Oscar wins. All right. Then we've got another match. All right. It's a green fight. It's Oscar the Grouch versus Donatello. This contest is installing a hardwood floor. Now, while that's moving, let's get another choice here.
I vote for Ollie. I've been picking all of the choices that Ollie's been hating, so I feel like I should commiserate with Ollie a little bit, if that's the right word for it.
All right, and Mage is taking off for the next part of the marathon here, the marathon relay. So, thanks, Mage.
Thank you, Mage.
See you later. All right, so Ollie, please choose from Ron Burgundy from Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy, Andy French from Mission Hill, Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers, or Buford and Baljeet from Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, nice that they're a team.
Yeah, after the first season, they're like joined at the hip.
Right. The Anchorman, Ron Burgundy. I will admit, for my World in the Jar purposes, sometimes I do revisit the fight scene from the Anchorman.
All right, so Ron gets a match right away, but let's go back and finish this up. Donatello versus Oscar. Who wins in installing a hardwood floor?
Donatello handily beats Oscar the Grouch, though I would argue Oscar has a hardwood floor in his trash can.
But did he install it?
That is a good question. According to chat, no.
Okay. All right, so Donnie takes a step forward. Now over here, we've got Mr. Fantastic versus Ron Burgundy. The contest is marbles. So this is the game where you've got a circle drawn on the floor, and there's a bunch of marbles just scattered inside the circle, and you got to take a bigger marble, wedge it in your hand like that, and flick it, and try to knock the other marbles out of the circle.
Sorry for the late posting of the poll. I was distracted by Rob describing the game. It's okay to be easily distracted. It happens to the best of us. It's tied. We have a leader.
All right. So let's see here. Who else is active in the chat? Spooky. Why don't you pick the next one? Tenzin from Avatar: The Legend of Korra. Tommy Pickles from Rugrats and All Grown Up. Chancellor Gowron from Star Trek. Or Duke Nukem from Duke Nukem. Ollie says, I think that Mr. F would be able to shape his hand into a slingshot with a sight and never miss.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Fantastic definitely has the edge on physical challenges because of that superpower. Ron Burgundy, his biggest selling point is his charisma.
All right, and Spooky has said Tommy Pickles.
Charlie from the Fire Thief Studio posits he'll just smash the pavement. Oh no,
he's thinking of Mr. Strong.
He's thinking of Mr. Incredible.
All right, so Tommy goes into a match as well.
think it's safe to end the poll. 10 votes, the most I've seen so far for Mr. Fantastic. Or 10 votes total in the poll. Mr. Fantastic wins it with 80-20 split.
All right. So Mr. Fantastic advances. We've got a match here. Naruto Uzumaki versus Tommy Pickles. This is... Now, I should point out that this is middle school Tommy Pickles. The contest there is a spelling bee. And now over here, just to preview, our returning champion Gonzo the Great steps in to face Agent K.
Oh, we're down to our... we finished our last choice then?
Yep, that's it.
It's all matches from here on out,
matches
folks.
Here. Yep. So, let's see here. Looks like people are leaning for Tommy.
Chat is jumping on Tommy Pickles. It was close for a moment, and Naruto's bar just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Naruto, I don't think is known.
All he says, Mr. Fantastic, is like Plastic Man, but super smart too. And he also says he doesn't know who either of these guys are.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Tommy is. He was the primary protagonist of the Rugrats series, which is like it's following babies as they learn things and go through wild trips of imagination. And then All Grown Up was the same characters but aged up 10 years, and so they're instead of 2 years old, they're now 12 years old and navigating 7th grade.
And then Naruto is the main character of his titular anime, Naruto. Beyond that, I'm not too well versed. There were a lot of episodes. But Naruto is a very powerful, very capable ninja. And I know we said Tommy Pickles is middle school in this poll, but it's funny to me, I think it's time to close the poll, that Naruto loses a spelling bee to a baby.
He's not a baby.
It just makes sense
not the face
for
of a baby. All right, so Tommy advances to face Mr. Fantastic, but first, let's come over here to take a look at Gonzo the Great versus Agent K. This contest has a twist. The contest is speed stacking in a full suit of plate mail. So they are both decked out in plate mail armor, and the contest is speed stacking.
Gonzo has worn plate mail, alleges Ollie.
I think I remember this. Yeah, I think I've seen him. I think I've seen him in armor. If I remember right, the visor kept like falling on his nose.
Right. So maybe his experience is still a hindrance here. Though speed stacking in plate mail does seem like a Gonzo feat.
Charlie says that feels just like Gonzo's particular brand of weirdness. Yeah, it does. That doesn't make him any good at it, though.
But the votes are divided. Gonzo barely getting the edge on Agent K.
All right.
Like, this feels like it should already be a skit from the Muppets.
I'm imagining now several times during the course of speed stacking, Agent K just like neuralizes him. And Gonzo is just like, oh.
But are we doing the rules that cheaters never prosper, or
we are, in fact.
Okay.
So if he actually did that, he would be disqualified.
Yeah. I think it's good to call it here. Gonzo the Great beats Agent K in speed stacking while on a full plate of armor.
Okay, then Gonzo advances to face Captain Benjamin Sisko. But before we get into that, let's come back over here to Mr. Fantastic versus Tommy Pickles.
And Ollie says, "Thanks for the stream, guys. Having a great time. Baldur's Gate 3 has been on pause for almost 2 hours now."
All right, Mr.
I
Fantastic.
understand.
Mr. Fantastic versus Tommy Pickles in a marathon. They are running 26.1 miles? I don't remember the specific length of a marathon. But it's a lot.
Almost there. And poll is up.
Ollie says, can we add a rule for every contest that Gonzo is in? Plate mail.
He just keeps the plate mail in every challenge following.
That would be funny, but no, we've got other twists in there that can definitely throw wrenches into things.
I don't know. I personally will headcanon it.
I mean, like earlier we had herding cats inside a Tetris matrix.
Ember says 32 miles for a marathon.
That seems long.
And so does Mr. Fantastic.
Hey Google, how long is a marathon?
According to Yahoo Sports, a marathon is always measured by the same distance, 26.2 miles, or 42.195 kilometers.
Okay. So 26.2 miles. I was close.
I was like, maybe it was 32 kilometers, and then Ollie posts 42 kilometers. I thought a 5K was long, personally.
Tommy Pickles would make it across the neighborhood during Grandpa's 5-minute recliner nap.
Fire Thief Studio says that'll be a good variant of the game where all players keep all the damage, training, and tools through each next challenge.
That could be an interesting. Actually, yeah, that's kind of how the anyone's race variant works.
Right. All right, I think it's safe to close. We've gotten the most votes so far, 11 votes on this poll, deciding that Mr. Fantastic runs a marathon faster than Tommy Pickles.
Okay, Mr. Fantastic will advance to face Donatello, but let's go over here for the next match, Captain Benjamin Sisko versus Gonzo the Great. Pole vaulting.
Whoa, why is Gonzo cheating?
Sumami says, one thing I never got, wasn't Stu a stay-at-home inventor? Why couldn't he ever keep an eye on those babies? I think it's because, like, he's constantly inventing new things, so he's kind of locked away in the basement. And also, he has to, once he's got a thing invented, he has to go, like, market it. And that's practically a full-time job in and of itself.
I mean, if you just see the things Angelica puts him through, I remember watching watching the clip with the pudding.
Yeah.
And that was probably the peak of Rugrats for me.
Stu, what are you doing? I'm making chocolate pudding. Why are you making chocolate pudding? It's 4 a.m. Because I've lost control of my life.
Wow. I think we should just close this poll now. Not 10 votes. Gonzo has shut out Benjamin Sisko.
All right, Gonzo advances to the semifinal to take on Boris Badenov.
Moly.
Let's swing over to the other side of the semifinal, where we have Mr. Fantastic versus Donatello. Their contest is spaceship salvaging. So they are in zero gravity, in a spacesuit, with some like advanced tools. So they got a mini tractor beam, they've got a blowtorch, they've got an electromagnet, that kind of stuff, and they have to take apart a spaceship and salvage as much value from it as possible.
I'll Ollie is rooting for Gonzo, it seems. Gonzo is turning out to be that sleeper that you'd never expect that just wins everything. Sumami also responds, Gonzo is also adorable, so automatic advantage in all categories. We're all, Fire Thieves Studio says, we're all just imagining him in plate mail like a little weird wrecking ball. And one thing though, 8 votes have already been cast. Does the suit stretch with Mr. Fantastic? I think is an important question.
The spacesuit?
Yes.
That would be very difficult to engineer. So I'm gonna say it has pretty limited stretching ability. It can't stretch as far as he can, but it can stretch some.
Fortunately, Mr. Fantastic is also somewhat of a genius. But then again, so is Donatello.
A turtle-sized suit would be even harder to design? Not necessarily. I mean, you can just
make the torso a lot more rotund.
Yeah, it doesn't have to like stretch and then contract. It just has to be the one shape.
Chat is divided on this, despite Mr. Fantastic generally having 3/4 of the votes. I think we should call it Mr. Fantastic here.
All right, go ahead and end the poll there. So Mr. Fantastic salvages his way into the final. Let's find out who his opponent is going to be. It's Boris Badenov versus Gonzo the Great. Winner goes to the final. The contest is juggling in bumper boats.
In bumper boats?
In bumper boats.
I ask again, why is Gonzo cheating?
Now, for this contest, because they are in bumper boats, there are other people around also driving bumper boats and occasionally slamming into them. They are also allowed to drive their own bumper boat, but doing so while juggling would be very difficult.
Plate armor and bumper boats. 7 votes for Gonzo, 0 for Boris.
All right, let's call it there. Gonzo juggles his way back into the final. Now to face Mr. Fantastic. First player to reach 2 wins takes the title. Let's find out who it's gonna be. Let's have Ollie give me an integer from 1 to 9.
Meanwhile, I feel like with this string of anyone's game, I'm imagining like Kermit in the judges panel just deciding on challenges.
All right. A 7. That gives us the contest Balloon Animals. Who is making better, more aesthetically pleasing, more complex balloon animals?
Now, I know what everyone's thinking, but my idea is that Mr. Fantastic, he can make a balloon animal out of himself.
That is what I was thinking.
And then try and recreate it with a balloon.
Yeah. Like, he might have an idea of how things twist together just from having done it with himself.
But chat is disagreeing with us. They are going with Gonzo the Great with 62% of the vote.
Ollie says, while Mr. Fantastic can make himself into whatever balloon animal, I don't think that counts. I agree. It wouldn't count if he did it with himself, but he could then, after having done it with himself, he could then perhaps transfer that method onto the balloon.
So far, I don't think the plate armor would have mattered. Gonzo the Great could still make balloon animals with plate armor. With 67% of the vote, I think Gonzo the Great takes this one.
Okay. So that's 1 up for Gonzo. Let's have Sumami give me the next one, please. An integer from 1 to 8. Four. That's this one right here, which is... Ooh, it's a team one. So it's a makeover. Mr. Fantastic has to give a makeover to Donatello, and Gonzo the Great has to give a makeover to Boris Badenov.
All right, I will annotate that in a way that I can try and make sense of it.
So Mr. Fantastic with Donatello, I guess, and then Gonzo with Boris, I guess. What do you mean by makeover? Well, I mean that it's, haircut, perhaps makeup, a new outfit, shave, skin treatment, mani-pedi, the works. And whoever ends up, more pretty, more confident, more transformed from their original self, would probably be the winner.
People are so on Gonzo's side with this one.
Charlie says, no way Gonzo's weirdness will clash well with Boris Badenov's inherent goblinness.
Gonzo has applied makeup to his chickens. That, I think, is an important feat when making over Boris Badenov. 8 votes cast. Gonzo the Great having a commanding lead. I think it's safe to end the poll.
It is
Gonzo.
Indeed. So Gonzo remains champion, but does he get the sweep? Ember says Gonzo has transitioned friends. He knows how to do makeup. All right. Purple says they are ready to start. Well, we are almost done here. Purple, since you're here, give me an integer from 1 to 7, please.
This is our last contest, and then we'll close it out.
Literally the last one. And if Purple's not here, then Vale, you can do it.
I'll vote. You said 1 to 7?
Yeah.
I'll vote 7 again.
7, that's a twist.
It's a twist?
Yep. Now give me one. Now I'm going to take the other twist out and give me an integer from 1 to 5.
4.
4.
Unless Purple chimes in the next.
Is a chili cook-off in a ball pit up to their waists.
All right, poll is launched.
And we're gonna wrap this up real quick here. So thank you everybody for coming along and taking part in these shenanigans. And if you want to see more, once again, that's raspberrygrenade.games for the website, the channel. You're there. It's Raspberry Grenade Games. You want to see more of this? There's a whole season already up on our channel. And there's recaps for the ones that didn't get videos, and there's even leaderboards starting around tournament 16, I believe, somewhere in there. So there's leaderboards at the end of every tournament, so you can even track stats for those of you who like that kind of thing. Anyway, let's go ahead and end the poll here. Looks like Gonzo the Great is taking it. Gonzo gets another sweep and remains our champion of the side tournaments. So thanks once again, everybody, for coming along. Thank you, Vale, for taking part. That's Vale from World in a Jar podcast. And now we're
Yes.
going to go ahead and send you over to Purple Rhymes with Orange. And I don't have the link. Purple, I need your link.
I might be able to collect it.
Hold on.
Live.
Hang on.
I've got the link.
Sorry. You got it? Okay, paste it in the chat. And thanks everybody. Thank you.
Thank you all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah, solstice, Kwanzaa, Yule, winter, whatever holiday. There's a lot of them in this particular time of year. Have a good one. Goodbye. Thank you much.